What if I told you that everything you do to change your life is actually trapping you even more in the same place? That all your effort, your sweat, and your struggle are only strengthening the walls of your own prison? In the next few minutes, I'm going to prove to you that there's a counterintuitive method, almost too simple to be true, capable of altering your reality in an instant. And to show you that this isn't theory, let's do a 30-second exercise, right here and now, that will change your energy in a way you'll feel in your body. But I need to warn you. What you're about to discover is so powerful that your rational mind will fight with all its might to reject it. Most people will ignore this and continue suffering. The question is, will you be one of them? If you feel you're ready to break the cycle, comment "I choose to awaken" and stay with me until the end, because the secret to unlocking everything is hidden where you least expect it. Your life is sustained by an invisible force field, an energy bubble that supports your current reality. Your money, your relationships, your health, everything is kept within a specific frequency. That's why, even when you strive to change, things always revert to their original state, like a rubber band that can't be stretched forever. This field doesn't judge, it simply maintains the existing pattern. This field is generated by you, but you don't perceive it, just as a fish doesn't perceive the water it lives in. It is the sum of your deepest beliefs, habitual emotions, and past traumas. You have been trying to change what is outside the water, such as your job or your bank account, without understanding that it is the quality of the water itself that determines everything you experience. Real change is not about jumping out, but learning to change the water. That's why your victories seem temporary. You get a raise, but soon an unexpected expense takes you back to square one. This isn't bad luck. It's your energy field, programmed for the frequency of scarcity, self-correcting to maintain coherence with your internal vibration. You're not fighting the world. You're fighting your own energy transmission. And that's a battle you'll never win by force. Every thought of doubt and every feeling of unworthiness strengthens this programming, creating an invisible fortress that keeps you trapped in what is familiar, even if it is painful. True freedom doesn't come from trying to tear down this fortress, but from changing the frequency of the generator that sustains it. You need to stop fighting against your own energy and learn to reprogram it at the source, changing who you are inside. Think of your life as a radio. Your inner state is the tuner that chooses the station. If you're tuned to the frequency of fear, the universe can only deliver experiences that match that vibration. The mistake is trying to change the outside world to feel good. The law works the other way around. You need to feel good first, regardless of the circumstances, so that the outside world can finally change and reflect your new tuning. Imagine you are in the middle of a gigantic valley, surrounded by mountains. Everything you shout, the valley returns to you with impressive fidelity. If you shout, "I feel lonely," the echo doesn't return saying, "Here is a great love for you." The echo returns with the same vibration. Alone, alone, alone. And this vibration manifests in your life as encounters that don't evolve, as a feeling of invisibility in the midst of a crowd, as the constant confirmation of your loneliness. Your reality is this echo. It doesn't respond to what you say you want. It responds to what you truly are, to the vibration that emanates from your being. You've spent your whole life arguing with the echo. You stand on the edge of the valley and shout with your thoughts, "I want to be rich. I want to be prosperous." But beneath your words, your body trembles with fear of lack. Your heart aches with the memory of debts. Your energy screams, "I don't have enough." And what echo returns? Unexpected bills, opportunities that vanish, the feeling that money always slips through your fingers. The universe isn't punishing you. It's simply being a perfect echo of your true transmission. The problem is that we've been taught to focus only on words, on positive affirmations, on thoughts. We believe that if we repeat, "I am happy" 1,000 times, happiness will appear. But while you repeat that phrase, your body is tense, your breath is short, and your stomach is churning with anxiety. Your true cry to the universe is one of despair. Words are just smoke, the emotion, the feeling you carry in your body. That's the real bonfire. And the echo responds to the fire, not the smoke. Imagine someone seeking a relationship. They tell everyone they want to find a partner, go on dates, use dating apps. But their inner vibration is one of neediness, of "I need someone to complete me." The echo they receive is from people who are also needy, who drain their energy, or people who sense this vibration of desperation and distance themselves. External reality only confirms the inner belief. It's difficult to find someone. Change only happens when the person begins to vibrate with self-completeness. When their cry shifts from "I need" to "I am." This echo dynamic explains why people who already have money seem to attract more money easily. It's not because the universe favors them. It's because their dominant vibration is one of abundance. They are not afraid to invest. They don't worry about the next bill. Their energy screams there is always more where that came from. And the echo responds, bringing more opportunities, more business, more flow. They are not trying to convince the universe that they are rich. They simply are. And reality organizes itself to reflect this state of being. You were trained to be a master of words, but illiterate in frequency. No one in school taught you how to manage your emotional state. No one explained to you that your feelings are a language, the primary language that the universe understands. You learned to repress your emotions, to ignore them, to distract yourself from them, but they don't disappear. They continue to vibrate in your energy field, silently screaming in the valley and creating the echo you call your life. The key to changing the echo is not to scream louder, but to change the melody of your scream. Therefore, the question you need to ask yourself is not "What do I want?" but "What am I vibrating?" Stop for a moment and feel your body. What is the underlying emotion that is always there? Is it a subtle tension in your shoulders, a tightness in your chest, a restlessness in your legs? That is your vibrational signature. That is your true cry. And until you learn to change that fundamental frequency, you will continue to receive the same echo, day after day. But how can you see something that is so deeply rooted in you? The answer lies in the gatekeeper of your mind. Your brain wasn't designed to make you happy. It was designed to keep you alive. And to do that, it needs to be incredibly efficient. Every second, millions of bits of sensory information bombard you. Sounds, images, smells, sensations. If you had to consciously process all of that, you'd go crazy in seconds. To avoid this overload, your brain has a gatekeeper, a security guard called the reticular activating system, RAS. Its function is simple: to filter out what is irrelevant and let through only what is important to you. But who defines what is important? The answer is your internal state, your dominant beliefs. Your RAS, reticular activating system, receives a list of instructions based on what you believe to be true about yourself and the world. If your fundamental belief, fueled by years of experience, is that life is dangerous and people are untrustworthy, your brain becomes a radar specialized in detecting dangers and betrayals. It will highlight a stranger's sideways glance, news about a crime, the slight inconsistency in a friend's speech. It will prove to you, repeatedly, that your belief is correct. At the same time, this same filter will completely ignore evidence to the contrary. Acts of kindness, opportunities for connection, genuine smiles. all of this becomes invisible to you. Not because they don't exist, but because they're not on your brain's gatekeeper's white list. You're not living in reality. You're living in a version of reality that has been carefully edited to match your internal programming. It's like wearing blue-tinted glasses and wondering why the whole world seems bluish. Imagine you decide you want to buy a specific model of red car. Suddenly, you start seeing that car everywhere, on the street, in the parking lot, on television. The number of red cars hasn't increased. What changed was the instruction you gave your brain. You told it, "This is now important to me." And it obediently began to highlight this information from the background noise. Now, imagine that the instruction you've given your brain your whole life is, "I'm not good enough." What do you think it will highlight? It will highlight every mistake you make, no matter how small. It will amplify every criticism you receive. It will remind you of all your past failures whenever you try something new, and it will filter out all the praise, all your qualities, all your victories. You become a collector of evidence of your own inadequacy, without realizing that it is your own brain that is selecting the pieces for the collection. Changing your life, therefore, is not about fighting the world, but about giving new instructions to the gatekeeper of your mind. The problem is that these instructions aren't given by logical and conscious thought. The reticular activating system, doesn't respond well to, "I want to be confident." It responds to emotion, to feeling. When you feel anxious, you are, in practice, shouting to your brain, "Find reasons for me to be anxious," and it will work tirelessly to fulfill this order, scanning the future for possible disasters and the present for hidden threats. Anxiety is not just a feeling, it's a search command. To reprogram this filter, you need to change the command. You need to start deliberately feeling the emotion of the reality you desire. By cultivating feelings of gratitude, security, and worthiness, even for just a few minutes a day, you are giving your brain a new set of instructions. You are saying, "Now, look for evidence that life is good and safe." And slowly, the gatekeeper begins to let new information through. You start to notice synchronicities, small joys, doors opening. The world hasn't changed, but your glasses have. And this power of command doesn't reside in your head, but in an unexpected place. We've been taught that the brain is the command center, but science reveals that the true engine of our reality beats in our chest. Research shows that the heart generates an electromagnetic field up to 5,000 times stronger than that of the brain. This field radiates from you, interacting with the energy around you. You've been trying to change your life with the wrong tool, ignoring the real power you possess. The field of your heart changes every second, responding directly to your emotional state. Stressful feelings like fear and anger create a chaotic and incoherent signal, a radio transmission full of static that the universe cannot decipher. This disordered energy is the true source of your struggle and your stagnant reality, a cry of despair that only attracts more of the same. On the other hand, when you cultivate elevated emotions like gratitude and love, your heart rhythm becomes ordered and harmonious. This state, called cardiac coherence, transforms your energy field into a powerful and clear wave, like a laser beam. You cease to be a confused signal and become a potent and focused transmitter, capable of sending a new instruction to your reality. That's why simply thinking positively doesn't work. Your thoughts are a whisper compared to the electromagnetic scream of your heart. If your mind says peace, but your heart transmits stress, the stronger signal will always win. Reality doesn't respond to what you think, but to the energy you emit. Real change happens when you align your thoughts with the emotion of your heart. The secret, therefore, is not to control thoughts, but to modulate your emotions to alter the frequency of your heart. By doing so, you are not only feeling better, you are emitting the energetic signature of your future reality before it happens. You become a smarter and more powerful version of yourself, actively commanding the energy that shapes your world. Quantum physics reveals that reality is not solid. At the fundamental level, everything exists as pure potentiality, a wave of all possibilities at once. It is only the observer's consciousness that collapses this wave into a specific event. This means that all possible versions of your life, the prosperous, the healthy, the happy, already exist as parallel realities waiting to be chosen. You don't create your reality from scratch. You select it at every moment. You are the observer who chooses which of these infinite possibilities becomes your physical experience. The tool you use for this selection, your remote control, is your state of being. The combination of your heart's energetic frequency with your beliefs. Your life is the result of the reality you are observing right now. Your life seems repetitive because you're tuned to the same channel every day. Your habitual emotional state, whether anxiety or victimhood, keeps you stuck on the same frequency, causing the universe to deliver experiences that only reinforce that state. You're not trapped in reality, but rather in your own frequency. The key isn't fighting what you see, but changing the channel you're watching. Changing your life isn't a slow, gradual process, but a radical act of shifting your frequency. You need to stop giving your attention and energy to the reality you don't want and start feeling svandiduze now, the emotion of the reality you choose. To experience abundance, stop focusing on lack and begin generating feelings of gratitude and prosperity. Tuning into this new energetic frequency, the power to choose between realities is your greatest gift, but you've forgotten how to use it. You've held the remote control on the same channel for so long that you've convinced yourself it's the only one that exists. The other versions of yourself never went away. They just vibrate at a different frequency, waiting for you to remember that you have the power to change the channel at any moment. Now you understand the mechanics behind your reality. You know it's not about fighting harder, but about vibrating differently. You know the power isn't in your logical mind, but in the electromagnetic field of your heart. And you know you don't need to create anything new. Just tune into a reality that already exists. The big question is, how to do this in practice? How to take all this knowledge and transform it into a real and tangible experience? The answer is an internal technology you already possess, a master key that can be activated in just 3 minutes. This isn't a typical visualization where you simply imagine what you want as if it were a distant movie. It's not a positive affirmation where you repeat words your subconscious mind rejects. It's a process of bodily and energetic activation. It's the act of becoming, at a cellular level, the person who already lives the reality you desire. It's about embodying your future self in the present moment, changing your biology and energy from the inside out, in a way the universe cannot ignore. The first step is to find a quiet place where you won't be interrupted. Sit comfortably with your spine straight, allowing energy to flow freely. Close your eyes and place your hand over your heart. This simple act alone begins to bring your consciousness to the center of your power. Begin to breathe slowly and deeply, deeper than usual. Imagine the air entering and exiting your heart. Do this for a minute, focusing only on bringing the rhythm of your breath to a state of calm and order. Now, the second step, the most crucial. Bring to mind an elevated feeling. The key is not to think about the feeling, but to evoke it. Remember a moment when you felt immense gratitude, profound love, contagious joy, or a sense of wonder at life. It could be the memory of a hug, a child's face, the beauty of a sunset. Whatever it is, immerse yourself in that memory and let the feeling fill every cell of your body. Feel your heart open and expand with that emotion. Remain in that feeling for at least a minute. In this state of cardiac coherence, with your heart emitting a powerful and ordered signal, you move to the third step. Ask yourself, how would I feel if my desired reality were already true? If you want more abundance, don't think about money. Feel the freedom, the security, the generosity that money would bring. If you want health, don't think about illness. Feel the vitality, the energy, the joy of moving in a strong body. Anchor yourself in this final feeling. Live in it, breathe in it, become it for the last minute. In doing so, you accomplished a feat of inner alchemy. You stopped screaming scarcity in the valley and began emitting the frequency of fullness. You stopped fighting against the invisible force field and became the generator of a new, more coherent and powerful field. You stopped trying to change the channel by hitting the TV and finally used the remote control of your heart to tune into the frequency of the reality you choose. You became the very vibration of your desire. This 3-minute process, practiced daily, begins to rewire your brain and recondition your body for a new state of being. It weakens old stress patterns and strengthens new neural pathways of joy and worthiness. You stop being a victim of the echo of reality and become the composer of the music. And when your internal transmission consistently changes, external reality, by universal law, has no choice but to reorganize and correspond. Change is no longer something you pursue. It's something you allow. After understanding that change is a frequency adjustment, your logical mind immediately asks, okay, what do I need to do now? It wants an action plan, a to-do list, a new strategy to execute. And this is where the last trap presents itself, disguised as productivity. The culture of struggle has taught you that to achieve something, you need to act massively, force, control, manipulate circumstances. But the ancient Taoist masters would smile at this agitation, for they knew a much more powerful secret, a principle called Wu Wei. The literal translation, non-action, is misleading. It's not about sitting and waiting for life to happen. Wu Wei is the art of effortless action. Imagine a boat on a fast-flowing river. The practitioner of effort, the warrior of endurance, would try to row with all his might against the current, sweating, exhausting himself, and barely making any progress. He is in a constant battle with the river. The Wu Wei master, on the other hand, does not fight against the current. He studies it. He senses the direction of the flow, the speed, the eddies. Instead of expending his energy fighting the river, he uses small as precise strokes only to guide the boat, allowing the immense force of the current to do all the hard work. He reaches his destination faster, with less effort, and in harmony with nature. Up until now, you have been the rower struggling against the river of your own life. Every time you tried to force change from a state of fear or lack, you were rowing against your own energetic current. Wu Wei is an invitation to let go of the oars of struggle. It doesn't mean becoming passive or giving up on your dreams. It means aligning your inner state, your frequency, so completely with the reality you desire that the right actions begin to emerge naturally, without friction, without the feeling of effort. Action becomes a consequence of your being, not an attempt to compensate for what you are not. When you practice heart coherence and align yourself with the feeling of your new reality, you are, in fact, aligning your boat with the current of the universe. From this aligned state, an idea for a new project may arise without you seeking it. You may feel a spontaneous impulse to call a specific person, who ends up offering you the opportunity you needed. Actions still happen, But they don't come from a place of anxious planning and mental control. They come from a place of intuition, of flow, of inspired response to the present moment. Effort stems from the belief in separation, from the idea that you are here and your desire is there, and that you need to build a bridge of hard work to reach it. Effortless action, Wu Wei, arises from understanding unity. You understand that the desired reality already exists as a frequency, and your only job is to become that frequency. When you become the frequency, the actions necessary for the physical manifestation of that reality are attracted to you. You stop chasing opportunities and become the magnet that attracts them. This requires trust. Trust to let go of the need to control every detail. Trust to believe that when you take care of your inner state, the universe takes care of the outer details. It's about stopping forcing locked doors and starting to notice which doors are already gently opening for you. You discover that life wasn't an adversary to be conquered, but a dance partner waiting for you to learn to follow the music instead of trying to impose your own clumsy steps. The action ceases to be a struggle and becomes a dance. The practice of Wu Wei in your daily life is simple. Before making a big decision or starting an important task, stop. Practice heart coherence for a few minutes. Align yourself with your center. And then, from that state of calm and clarity, ask, what is the most aligned and least resistant action I can take right now? Often, the answer will be surprisingly simple, something your anxious mind would have overlooked. By doing this, you stop swimming against the tide and start surfing the waves of life. And this inner harmony is what allows true magic to happen. The image of the medieval alchemist, locked in his laboratory trying to transform lead into gold, is one of the greatest misunderstandings in history. Their quest was never about metals. That was merely symbolic language, the veil concealing a much deeper and more dangerous process, the transformation of human consciousness. Alchemists were, in fact, the psychologists and mystics of their time. They knew that the true lead was not in the minds, but within the human soul. Lead is the weight of our fears, our unresolved traumas, our limiting beliefs, and our ego-based identity. Gold, however, was not the precious metal. Gold is our true essence, our pure, brilliant, free consciousness connected to the source of everything. It is the state of being that is not defined by the past or the future, but exists in a state of presence and power in the now. The great work, as they called it, was the process of transmuting the lead of the conditioned personality into the gold of the true self. And they understood that to change the outer world, it was first necessary to accomplish this inner transmutation. Your external reality is merely a reflection of your current alchemical state. You don't need to add anything to yourself to change. You don't need more knowledge, more techniques, or more power. Everything you need is already within you, just as gold is already contained in raw ore. The work of alchemy is not to add yao, but to purify. It is a process of burning, dissolving, and reunification. It is taking the most painful experiences of your life, the lead of your failures, rejections, and sorrows, and instead of trying to bury or forget them, you consciously place them in the fire of your attention. This fire is your conscience. When you look at a painful memory without judgment, without identifying with it, simply observing it with a loving presence, you begin the alchemical process of calcination. You are burning away the emotional charge of the event, separating the pure experience from the story your mind created about it. You begin to realize that the event itself was neutral. It was your interpretation, your reaction, that created the suffering. In doing so, you extract wisdom from the pain, transforming poison into medicine. Every challenge you faced, every person who hurt you, every obstacle that seemed insurmountable. All of it contained a lesson, a hidden strength. By integrating these shadows, you are not forgiving the act, but you are freeing yourself from the energetic prison of that event. You stop being the victim of your story and become the alchemist who uses all the ingredients, even the most bitter, to create the gold of wisdom and personal power. You understand that nothing that happened was meant to destroy you, but to awaken you. Your current reality, with its limitations and frustrations, is a direct reflection of the burden you still carry. Lack of money is a reflection of beliefs of unworthiness. Loneliness is a reflection of unhealed wounds of abandonment. Illness is often a reflection of toxic emotions trapped in the body. To change the reflection, polishing the mirror won't help. You need to turn inward and ignite the fire of transmutation. You need the courage to look at your own burden. This is the true spiritual work. It's not about floating on clouds of positivity, but about descending into the dungeons of your own psyche and bringing the light of consciousness to the darkest places. It's a work of courage and radical honesty with yourself, but it's the only work that leads to lasting freedom. By transmuting your inner lead, your vibrational frequency fundamentally changes. And when your frequency changes, the mirror of reality has no choice but to reflect a new image, the image of gold. And the first practical step to igniting that fire begins with your breath. Now let's move from the realm of concepts to direct experience. Intellectual knowledge is useful, but it doesn't change your energy. Real change happens in the body. The first, simplest, and most powerful tool to begin modulating your energy field and tuning into a new reality is the technique of heart coherence breathing. This is not just any breathing. It's a scientifically validated method for synchronizing your heart, brain, whack, and nervous system, taking you out of a survival state and placing you in a state of creation. Find a comfortable position, sitting with your spine straight so that energy can flow without blockages. Place one or both hands on the center of your chest, in the heart area. This simple physical touch already directs your attention and energy to this powerful center. Gently close your eyes. The goal is not to see the world outside, but to feel the world inside. Begin to slow down your breathing. Inhale slowly through your nose, continuously and gently, mentally counting to 5 or 6. Feel your abdomen and chest expand. Next, slowly exhale through your mouth or nose, counting to 5 or 6. Try to make your inhalation and exhalation the same length. Just maintain this balanced rhythm for a minute. Now, add a layer of intention. As you breathe, imagine, feel, that the air is entering and leaving directly through your heart. Feel your chest center breathing, opening on the inhale and relaxing on the exhale. This anchors your awareness even more deeply in the electromagnetic field of the heart, away from the noise of the mind. Now comes the most important step, the alchemical activator. While you maintain this heart-focused breathing rhythm, bring to your mind and body a genuine feeling of a heightened emotion. It's not enough to just think the word gratitude. You need to feel the gratitude. Remember something or someone for whom you are truly grateful. It could be a child's smile, a pet's loyalty, the beauty of a song, the feeling of a warm hug. Choose a memory that truly warms your heart. Immerse yourself in this feeling. Let it grow from your heart and spread throughout your body. Feel the chemistry of this elevated emotion flooding your cells. Remain in this state, breathing gratitude, love, or compassion for at least another minute. What you are doing is much more than relaxing. You are actively changing your biology and your energetic signature. You are shifting from a chaotic, static field radio signal to a clear, coherent, and powerful laser signal. Practice this for 3 to 5 minutes, several times a day. Upon waking, to start the day with the right frequency. Before an important meeting, to enter a state of clarity. When you feel stress coming on, to cut the survival pattern at the root. And before bed, to program your subconscious with new energy. This simple practice is your reset button. It's your tuning tool. It's the first practical key to stop being a reflection of the past and start being the cause of your future. By doing this, you are learning the language of the universe. You are speaking to the quantum field not with words, but with the universal language of frequency and emotion. You are sending the electromagnetic signal of the reality you choose, even before it manifests. This is the first step to becoming a conscious creator. You are learning to command your inner state, regardless of what happens outside. And once you master your inner state, the next step is to use it to rehearse the future you desire. After learning to generate a state of coherence with your heart's breath, you have the necessary energy for the next step, mental rehearsal. But forget everything you've heard about visualization. Most people practice visualization in a way that actually reinforces lack. They sit, close their eyes, and watch a mental movie of themselves having what they desire. They see themselves as a spectator, observing a distant, future version of themselves. This creates a feeling of separation. The self that wants is here, and the self that has is far away in the future. This only reinforces the vibration of absence. The true technique, the one that truly rewires the brain and changes its energy, is not visualization, it's embodiment. You won't be watching a movie. You will enter the movie and become the main character. After practicing your breathing and raising your emotions, with your eyes still closed, you will no longer observe your future version. You will become her now. Enter her body. Feel the weight of that body, the posture, the way it moves. Look through her eyes. What do you see around you in this new reality? Most importantly, what do you feel? What is the sensation in your chest when you wake up in the morning knowing that all your financial problems are solved? Feel the expansion, the lightness, the peace. What is the emotion of being in a loving and healthy relationship? Feel the connection, the security, the joy. Don't think about these feelings. Generate them in your body, using the coherence of your heart as the engine. You are no longer wishing for the future. You are living in it, on a neurological and biological level, in the present moment. Modern neuroscience shows us something incredible. The brain doesn't know the difference between an experience that is actually happening in the outside world and an experience that you are vividly living in your inner world. To your brain, both are real. When you mentally rehearse being this new person, feeling all the emotions as if they were already real, you begin to fire and connect new neural networks. You are literally installing the neurological hardware that corresponds to your new personality. Each time you practice this mental rehearsal, you are making these new neural connections stronger and more automatic. You are building a new mind. And as your thoughts and feelings change your biology, you are also changing your body. You are teaching your body, at a cellular level, what it feels like to already be this person. You are reconditioning the body to break free from the addiction to the stressful emotions of the past and anchor it in the elevated emotions of your future. The goal of this essay is not to make something happen. The goal is to change who you are. Manifestation in the outside world is merely a side effect of you becoming a new person. You practice being abundant until abundance becomes your natural state of being. You practice being confident until confidence becomes your new identity. You're no longer pretending. You are becoming. You are closing the gap between how you see yourself and how you want to see yourself. Do this for 10 to 15 minutes every day. Combine the coherence of the heart with the embodiment of your future. At the end of the practice, don't abruptly stop. Bring that feeling, that new energy, with you into your day. Try to remember that feeling while brushing your teeth, while driving, while working. You are anchoring the future in the present. You are installing the software of your new reality into your biological operating system. And when the software changes, the hardware of your body and the reflection of your life have to change too. But how do you maintain this new programming during the chaos of everyday life? You did your morning practice, you breathed, elevated your emotions, rehearsed your future. You feel incredible, expanded, powerful. You go out into your day feeling like you can conquer the world. And then it happens. You get stuck in traffic. Your boss criticizes you. You receive an unexpected bill. Immediately, the old program is triggered. The stomach cramps, the tightness in your chest, the avalanche of negative thoughts. In seconds, you are pulled back to your old state of being, to the old personality, and frustration hits. It doesn't work. This is where most people give up. They expect their morning practice to be a magic vaccine that will make them immune to life's challenges. But that's not how it works. Real transformation doesn't just happen in meditation. It happens on the battlefield of everyday life. The power isn't in never falling from your new state, but in how quickly you realize you've fallen and your ability to get back up. This is where you go from a casual practitioner to a true master of your reality. You become a guardian of your own frequency. Your new job, perhaps the most important of all, is to develop a heightened awareness of your internal state throughout the day. Most people live on autopilot, possessed by their reactive emotions without even realizing it. They spend hours or days in a state of anger, fear, or victimization, and only become aware of it when they are completely exhausted. You, however, will train yourself to be the silent observer behind your thoughts and emotions. You will learn to detect the exact moment when your energy changes. The moment you feel that familiar contraction, that repetitive thought, that dense emotion arising, your first reaction shouldn't be judgment. Don't criticize yourself for failing. That only adds another layer of negative energy. Instead, just observe neutrally, like a scientist observing a phenomenon. Tell yourself internally, interesting. I'm transmitting from the old state. I'm back in the scarcity channel. Just the act of naming and acknowledging, without judgment, already takes away the power of the automatic pattern. And then, immediately, you perform a 30-second frequency reset. It doesn't matter where you are or what you're doing. You can do this in the middle of a meeting, in the supermarket queue, during a difficult conversation. Stop. Take a deep breath, bringing the air down to the bottom of your belly. Place your hand on your heart, if possible, and ask yourself the most powerful question there is. From what frequency do I choose to operate now? And for a moment, just a moment, reconnect with the feeling of your future that you practiced this morning. Feel the gratitude, the freedom, the peace. Transformation isn't a single, grand event. It's the accumulation of thousands of these small micro-choices throughout the day. Every time you detect the old pattern and consciously return to your new state, you are weakening the neural connections of the past and strengthening those of the future. You are literally rewriting your biology in real time. You are training your body and mind that your new state of being is your true home, and that the old states are just unwanted visitors. In the beginning, you might fall 100 times a day and only notice 10 of them. That's okay. With practice, you'll notice 50, then 90. And the time you remain in that negative state will decrease from hours to minutes, and from minutes to seconds. The true metric of your progress isn't how long you can stay high, but how quickly you reorient yourself when you fall. That's the speed of recovery. And each conscious recovery is a declaration to the universe of who you choose to be, and that choice sets you on an epic journey. Every culture, throughout history, has told stories about the hero's journey. The call to adventure, the refusal of the call, the encounter with the mentor, the crossing of the threshold into an unknown world, the trials, the final battle with the dragon, and the return home with the elixir that heals the land. These stories resonate so deeply within us because they are not merely fiction. They are a map of the human soul's journey. And the transformation you are undertaking is your own hero's journey, the most important of all. Your former self, living on autopilot, trapped in the patterns of the past, was the sleeping hero in your ordinary village, feeling a vague calling for something more, but too afraid to answer. The discovery that you can change your reality through your state of being was your call to adventure. The practices of heart coherence and mental rehearsal are your encounter with the mentor, the magical tools that will aid you on the journey. And each time you close your eyes to enter your inner world, you are crossing the threshold into the unknown world of the quantum field. Trials and tests are not external monsters. They are your own internal demons, the doubts, the fears, the voices of self-sabotage, the addictive habits of your old self. Traffic, the critical boss, the unexpected bill. These are not the real enemies. They are merely the guardians of the threshold, challenges designed to test your resolve. They are asking you, do you really want to change? Or will you revert to the uncomfortable safety of your old identity at the first sign of difficulty? The great dragon you must face in the final battle is not a creature of scales and fire. The dragon is your greatest limiting belief, your deepest wound, the victim identity that has become your comfort zone. It is the part of you that is addicted to suffering and will do anything to keep you trapped in the past. Every time you detect the old state and consciously choose to return to the frequency of your future, you are striking a blow against this dragon. You are weakening its hold on you. And the elixir, the treasure you seek, is not money, relationships, or perfect health. These are merely symbols. The true elixir is freedom. The freedom to no longer be controlled by your environment, your body, or time. It is the awareness that you are the creator of your reality. When you return from your inner journey to the outer world, you bring this elixir with you. You don't change the world, but your new presence, your new energy, begins to heal and transform everything around you, effortlessly. You are rewriting the myth of your own life. You are ceasing to be a secondary character, a victim of circumstances in someone else's script, and becoming the hero of your own epic story. And you need to know that you are not alone on this journey. There is an invisible network of consciousness forming across the planet, a community of souls awakening to this same truth. Every person who dares to reclaim their power, who dares to face their inner dragon, strengthens all others. Your personal courage contributes to collective courage. This is not a journey for the faint of heart. It demands dedication, courage, and an unwavering will to know yourself. There will be times when you will want to give up and return to the safety of your old prison. But something within you, once awakened, will not allow you to sleep any longer. You have already seen behind the veil, and this journey does not follow a straight line, but a very specific and recurring path. It is absolutely crucial that you understand one thing, so you don't give up halfway. This transformation process is not a straight upward line. It's not like climbing a ladder, where each step takes you closer to the top and you never return to the previous step. Consciousness does not evolve in a straight line. It evolves in a spiral. This means that you will inevitably revisit the same themes, the same challenges, and the same fears that you thought you had already overcome. The difference is that with each turn, you will encounter them from a higher level of the spiral. You can spend weeks feeling amazing, living in your new state, and suddenly, an event happens and you're thrown back into a pit of insecurity you haven't felt in years. The mind's first reaction is despair. I haven't changed at all. I'm back to square one. But that's not true. You're not in the same place. You're looking at the same issue, but from a higher perspective, with more awareness, more tools, and more understanding than the last time you were there. Your old state of being, your old personality, has tremendous inertia. It has deep neurological grooves, carved by decades of repetition. It has a chemical signature to which your body has become addicted. It won't simply disappear overnight just because you decided to change. It will fight to survive. It will use every trick to pull you back into the familiar. The spiral is the process of turn after turn, weakening the gravity of the old state and strengthening the attraction of the new. Imagine you're trying to pull an old, rusty nail out of a piece of wood. You don't pull it out all at once. You rock it back and forth, back and forth. Each movement seems like you're not making progress, but each rocking motion is actually loosening the grip on the wood. The spiral journey is like that. You move forward to the new state. Then you're pulled back to the old one. But each time you consciously return to the new, you loosen the grip on the past a little more. That's why your success metric needs to radically change. Success on this path isn't measured by how long I can stay in the new state without falling. That's a recipe for frustration. The true measure of mastery is, how quickly can I get back up after falling? It's the speed of recovery. In the beginning, you might fall into a state of anger and stay there for 3 days. With practice, you fall and stay for 3 hours. Then, for 30 minutes, until you reach a point where you feel the anger rising. Observe it, breathe, and release it in 30 seconds. Don't be fooled. There will be days when you forget all of this. Days when the old you will seem more real than ever. Days when external reality will seem so overwhelming that all this talk about frequency will seem like a fantasy. Embrace those days. They are part of the journey. They are the turn of the spiral that allows you to see how much you have already grown. They are opportunities to practice self-compassion and to strengthen your resolve. With each turn, you integrate another layer of your shadow and anchor your light more deeply. Therefore, when you find yourself facing an old fear or an old pattern again, don't despair. Celebrate. You've reached a new level in the game, and this is the boss of the stage. You have a new opportunity to make a different choice, to respond instead of react, to choose love instead of fear. Each turn in the spiral is a chance to free yourself a little more, to weaken the old circuit and strengthen the new, until eventually your new state of being becomes your natural pattern, your new home. And from that home, your new reality becomes simply inevitable. And so, we complete the circle and return to the initial question. Why 6? The more you strive to change, the more things remain the same. Now you know the answer in every cell of your being. Because you are trying to change the reflection in the mirror without ever changing the person in front of it. You are waging a war with the outside world, without realizing that the outside world was merely a faithful echo of your inner war. Change was never about doing more. It was always about being more. The truth is so simple that the mind, with its need for complexity and drama, refuses to accept it. You need to become, energetically, the person who already has what you desire. Don't think about it. Don't wait for it. Don't fight for it. Become. Embody. Transmit the frequency of your future reality from your heart, now. When you do this, consistently, sincerely, with dedication, physical reality has no option but to reorganize itself to match your new transmission. It's not magic. It's the law of resonance. You don't attract into your life what you want. If that were the case, everyone would have everything they desire. You attract into your life what you are. Your reality is a mirror of your identity. If you identify with scarcity, you attract lack. If you identify with illness, you attract symptoms. If you identify with loneliness, you attract absence. The work has never been to change the world. The work has always been to change your identity, your state of being. Change is simple, but that doesn't mean it's easy. It requires you to let go of who you were. It requires you to say goodbye to the victim story that gave you an excuse, but also robbed you of power. It requires you to trade the comfortable certainty of your suffering for the glorious uncertainty of your potential. It requires you to love yourself enough to believe you deserve more than the echo of your past. It's the hardest and most important choice you will ever make. The person who started reading this text is not the same person who is finishing it now. Even if you don't consciously realize it, new seeds have been planted. New doors of perception have been opened. A new frequency has begun to be tuned within you. Something has changed. Now, your only job is to honor this change. It is to protect this small flame of new awareness from the winds of doubt and habit. It is to cultivate this seed with your daily practice, with your attention, with your repeated choice to be who you truly are. Don't wait for the world to change first so you can feel different. Feel different so the world can change. That's the secret. That's the key. That's the power that has always been within you, waiting to be rediscovered. The key that transforms worlds is not in strength, but in frequency. It's not in fighting, but in alignment. It's not in chasing, but in becoming. Return to your essence. Return to your heart. Return to your new frequency. And from that place of silent power, simply observe. Observe how synchronicities increase. Observe how the right people appear. Observe how doors open where before there were only walls. Not with surprise, but with a feeling of recognition. Because you are no longer waiting for your reality to change. You are simply watching it become what you have already become. Your new reality is no longer a distant hope. It has simply become inevitable. If you've made it this far, it's no accident. It means something inside you resonated with this truth. To let me know you're one of those ready for change, leave the following phrase in the comments. My mind doesn't accept it, but I choose to change. Your presence until the end is already a huge help to the channel. And if you feel called to support this work more directly, there's a link in the first pinned comment where you can contribute. Any help is very important to me and to the growth of the channel, allowing more content like this to reach those who need it. But truly, just by watching and perhaps sharing this video with someone who needs to hear this, you're already making a huge difference. And before you leave, the journey doesn't have to end here. A special video has been prepared for you to take the next step. Don't leave yet. Click on the video that's appearing on the screen now and let's meet there.